Okay, let's talk about the little bit of configurations. Basically, it's if you're getting bored, you can skip this video. Basically, Laravel provides everything is configured perfectly, but if you just have a look, let's say for example, if I just go to my config folder and then I have app.php, and that basically contains all this stuff, the env. And if you just go to our env.env file, right, and then also open app.php, basically what is env file? It is this environment file for our application, and we will not put this file to our Git repository, right, because it contains our database information, our emails and our passwords and all this stuff, the secret information for our application, right? Okay, and this time the name of the application is Laravel, and then the app debug mode is true, and the environment is local. You can just change it, for example, to staging, something like that, or you can just change it to production, but it is local at the moment. Basically with this you cannot send emails to your users, right? When you upload the project, you can just change it to production, right? And then we have, if we just scroll down, then we have, right, this is the environment, which is if you just check, it is local right now, and we can just change it. Okay, and the app debug, that's true right now, and when it goes to production, we can just simply say false, and we cannot see any error. And then we have URL, and you can just change it, let's say for example JavaScript to anything, and at the moment we just let it to localhost. And the time zone, we'll just keep it the same. And then the language, this is for the local configuration. And then the keys, right, app key that we discussed recently, this basically refers to this app key. And then we scroll down, that we have providers, right? This is basically service providers. If you install any package, a new package, you need to insert a service provider for it, and you can create your own service providers. There we go, right? And then we have aliases, for example, for our app. These are basically facades, and facades are you can say kind of shortcuts to access anything. Just we'll use them in our lecture. For example, you use the config facade. For example, if I just open up my web.php, and if I want to use the auth facade, right, so simply I can use it like that, auth, and then we'll just discuss this later on. Auth check, that will basically check if the user is logged in or not. So these are basically shortcut. We just don't need to say, for example, require header.php or all this stuff, right? So these basically help us. These are basically shortcuts, help us to we can use them anywhere in our application, right? And then we have okay, how we can access them. Let's say for example, if I just go to my if I just go to services.php, right, and then let's, for example, if I register my own services, okay, that's for example Braintree, and then the secret key for that is I will use the env, and then the secret key for Braintree. Okay, if I just copy this and go to env, and I'll just keep it secret, and let's say for example abc and 1 2 3, and if I just go to my web.php, now I want to access this. So if I create a new route, get, for example, key or anything like home, and pass a closure, and then echo from config, and then, or for example, this is Braintree, and then the secret, right? Oh, basically first we need to define the name of the file from where you want to access the configurations, from services, and then the name of the array, that's Braintree tree and then the key, secret key. So if I just go ahead and reload the page and visit the URL, okay, I'm not getting it. Let me just check what's going on. I think everything is fine here. So if I just go again, okay, oh yeah, we need to say env instead of evn. Okay, there we go. Now it's working perfectly. So as I mentioned, you can access anything. For example, you want to access, basically brand tree is also a payment method. You can integrate it. You can also use the Stripe and Spark Post and any of them, right? And then for example, let me just scroll down from app, and you can also use the config facade, right? So if I just copy this or write it directly, and then I can use the get function to get the information, right? And you can also use other stuff, for example, the mailgun from services, mailgun, and then the mailgun secret key. And if I just go to env and then copy this, now that's, for example, mailgun key. Okay, oh yeah, that's secret basically. There we go, right? So this is basically a little bit of configuration, so you can understand the basics of configurations, files, and all this stuff, right? And from the next video, we'll be working on with our, the main, and then there are more useful stuff. For example, we'll start from routing. Okay, so see you in the next video.